vision for a new global security and economic order that prioritizes the global south. Xi, hosting more than 20 leaders of non-Western countries in the northern Chinese port city of Tianjin, has said that the SCO must promote the democratization of the international relations and enhance the representation of developing countries. He stressed that the need to take a clear stand against hegemonism and power politics. He also urged regional leaders to oppose what he called the Cold War mentality. Let's listen into what the Chinese president has said.
80年后，和平发展合作共赢的时代潮流没有变，但冷战思维、霸权主义、保护主义阴霾不散，新威胁、新挑战有增无减。 世界进入新的动荡变革期，全球治理走到新的十字路口。
Additionally, President Putin has said that the SCO had revived genuine multilateralism. For this discussion, we are joined by Dr. Bonnie Yushi Liao. She's an assistant professor of diplomacy and international relations at Tamkang University in Taiwan, and our other guest, Mark Sutherland, he's a geopolitical analyst, joins us live from London. And also Alison Mutler, she's a former AP bureau chief in Romania, joins us live from Bucharest. Thank you to all our guests for joining us today. My first question is to Professor Bonnie. Professor Bonnie, the 2025 SCO Summit in Tianjin has emphasized a vision for a multipolar world with leaders like Xi Jinping and President Vladimir Putin advocating for a shift away from Western dominance. How do you perceive Taiwan's strategic positioning within this evolving global order?
When Beijing and Moscow sell multipolarity, they're normalizing an authoritarian multipolarity. Many pose fewer guardrails, while Taiwan's answer is a rules-based, partner-rich strategy. At home, we pursue deterrence by denial with mobile resilience and asymmetric forces. And abroad, we build coalitions of capability, maritime domain awareness, and the Coast Guard interoperability with the US, Japan, Australia, and the Philippines. Economic resilience through supply chain de-risking and common tech standards with Europe and Indo-Pacific partners. We also call out coercion and defend one predictable rulebook. So we choose rules, resilience, and real partners. Multipolars, yes. Multi-standards, no.
And with that, I would like to go to Alison. Alison, with China and Russia playing prominent roles in the SCO, how is the balance of power in Central and South Asia likely to change, according to you?
Well, I think that's something that China, particularly, they want to show that they are the next world leaders after probably, whether they say it outright or not, even they're presenting it as a multi-polar reality. And India, these are two very, very powerful countries. India is a democracy. China is not a democracy, but they have important trade. It was Narendra Modi's first visit to China since 2018, so because of the problems with the border clashes, so that's quite important. So I think they're trying to create a sort of a new power base in Asia, but I think it goes beyond Central Asia. I mean, these are the big economies, these are the big countries in the region, but I think they want to make a global footprint, to be an alternative to Donald Trump and the West, which is fractured. It's very brittle unity in the West. There's a lot of problems since the Trump administration. The world order has changed in the West, and obviously China and India and Russia and the other countries. It is a bit odd that India is it's a democratic country, but it also is a very pragmatic country, that they would want to join this. So it's not just about Asia here. I think it's about creating, they say, a multipolar world, but it seems to me it's about China asserting its dominance on the global stage. And again, let's not forget, this group also includes Belarus, which is actually part of Europe. But anyway, these organizations, so if you look at the Eurovision Song Contest, Israel takes part in that. So these organizations aren't always completely geographically defined. They're often, I mean, in the case of Belarus, it's probably something that Russia wanted Belarus to join for ideological and cultural reasons. So I think it's more about how the power shifts from Washington to the east. This is the aim anyway. Whether it will go beyond talks and optics is another matter, and that will play out in the coming years, or the coming months, and the coming years. But I think it's trying to shift the power away from Washington because of Donald Trump's tariffs, but also the new sort of world order, because of the way his administration, the way he does politics, is totally different from what happened in the past in Washington. So I think it's more a shift towards Asia, not just how it's seen within Asia.
Yes, with that in mind, building on that, I would like to bring Mark in this discussion. Mark, what do you think? Do you agree with Alison that China and Russia are, while they are playing prominent roles in the SCO to balance this power, will they change the balance in power, and do they have any strategic or underlying motives in hosting this kind of hosting SCO and being present in SCO? Mark, I would like to come to you for my next question. Mark, what do you think? Do you think that with now China and Russia playing prominent roles in the SCO, what do you think is their motive, and how is the balance of power in Central and South Asia likely to change according to you?
Suma, good to be with you again. I think comments following from your great guests are talking about the fact that Russia, the whole SCO would like to expand their influence from the Eurasia arena. They would like to be more on the world stage, to challenge the G7, to challenge NATO. What is very interesting is, Turkey is a member of NATO. They want to expand that. I'm also trying to cope with the sentence of democracy and working with democracies in China in the same sentence, which is a bit of a new one on me, as Alison pointed out. China is not a democracy, as the concerns would be of Taiwan. The fact that China has been building these atolls around Taiwan, doing naval exercises, etc. That is all within that mix as well. You quite rightly talk about the tariff wars. We go back to the fact that Donald Trump wants to, the 30+ trillion debt that America is in, even though he's just reported the fact they've got 10 trillions of investment to go back into America. They're wanting to get the investment back. They're wanting to get the manufacturing back, as I was talking about yesterday, that since we go back in history of Kissinger and Nixon then opening up those relationships with China, and then by 1982, the thousands of factory jobs that had gone over to China as they viewed that technocracy that it's become as the center of the cheap labor market within the world to supply the rest of the world goods. So the SCO, with all the 24, 25 countries there, the conversations between India, China, other people have alluded to the fact that for a trilateral between Russia, India, and China, the fact that the tariffs, again, has emphasized the fact they've all had to think individually in regard to looking after their own countries. But also, we have to look at the tie-ups here and how they are supporting each other. And as Suma in the report beforehand, where it's about the BRICS nations as well, this is a huge relationship building of as people would say, soft power and trade. Yes. because, yes, it wants that multipolar
Yes.
world. It doesn't want the hegemony of America, and it's challenging that, Asuma.
Yeah, thank you very much